Welcome everyone to the Flourishing Workplace Podcast. My name is Connie Jacob, and I am so pleased today to have Tricia all the way from New York City. Tricia has been my coach in speaking. She has been leading us through the Big Talk Academy. Absolutely phenomenal process for anyone wanting to get your story out there and have an influential voice. She is leading the way in helping storytellers come to life. And I can't say enough about Tricia, and all of her amazing accomplishments and what she has done and who she is in our show notes. Please check her out because she's moving and shaking. How are you, Tricia?
Connie, I'm so excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. You just released a new book, The Influential Voice. I'm wondering if we could talk about that for a few moments. What that book is about, why you wrote it, who is it for? Would love to hear.
I am so excited to be able to share about my book with you and with your audience, Connie. I had been talking about writing a book about public speaking. I'd been shopping around a book proposal to many agents, but I wasn't getting any traction, Connie, because I didn't really want to write a book about public speaking. And when I realized what I wanted to actually communicate on the pages of my book was how to communicate with dignity, respect, effectiveness, curiosity, courage, and love. I was in New York City. Everything was happening during COVID. It was a very chaotic, uncertain time. And Ahmaud Arbery's murder became public. Breonna Taylor was murdered, and then George Floyd was murdered. And we were dealing with the second impeachment hearing. And I realized it was my responsibility to talk about what it means to speak with dignity, to identify the systemic racism that exists in this country, and to really open up a dialogue and to get people realizing that they, no matter what race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, whether you are a parent influencing your children from across the kitchen table, whether you are a partner influencing your spouse or your loved one, whether you are a thought leader or a CEO influencing your leaders, you have the responsibility to speak with dignity and respect and to understand that you have to be accountable for the words that you are choosing to put out into the world. And that is really why I wrote The Influential Voice, saying what you mean for lasting legacy, because we all have an opportunity to make a difference in this world. We have one precious short life. And if you can read the stories of other influential voices and relate to them, if you can use the tools and the techniques that I have put into this book to become an effective communicator, we get closer. We bring humanity closer.
Yes. Oh, that just got me fired up because I couldn't agree more. And how we bring people closer through story. That is so close to my heart. I love that. And I always love asking authors what's the why behind books, because that answer is just beautiful. And anyone who's maybe thinking, I'm not a speaker, I'm a business owner, I don't know if this book is for me. Well, now we know this book is for everyone who wants to have a voice and change our world for the positive. I love it, Tricia. Storytelling is so powerful. Storytelling brings people together. Why do you believe this is so critical for everyone? Maybe the mom who's listening, the person who doesn't think they have a voice. Why does this matter for them?
Even if you don't think anyone is listening or cares, or you can impact anyone, trusting that there are 7.8 billion people on the planet and one person is meant to hear this story. And when you share your story, you can potentially change and even save their life. This is the seriousness of what it means to be an influential voice. And it doesn't mean you have to have a PhD. It doesn't mean you have to be an author or an award-winning anything. It simply means that when you are in your truth and you are speaking from a place of dignity and respect and love. And I share this story with you, Connie, during COVID, the height of the fear in the city. You know, New York City is where I live and everybody's close together. It's hard to distance from anyone. So I would go to the grocery store at 5:30 in the morning because my local grocery store was open 24 hours in order to give people an opportunity to go at different times of the day. So I would go at 5:30 in the morning, and the amazing woman, Pamela, who would check me out in full hair and makeup and mask, She would talk to me about what I was making for dinner based on what was in my grocery cart. She made me feel safe, seen, taken care of, and normal. This woman had such an influence on me because she spoke to me and she saw me. And that is what I'm talking about when it comes to being an influential voice.
That's incredible. That is incredible. And I think that's powerful for anyone to be listening to right now, thinking in my work, maybe I'm a frontline worker, maybe I am a grocery store clerk, to know that we can make that kind of difference by seeing someone, hearing them, and making them feel safe just by doing that. That is beautiful, beautiful. When it comes to mental health, because our work at Flourishing Workplace is helping workplaces thrive and flourish, especially mentally, what would you say the role in storytelling is with mental health?
I think it really starts with being seen and not being alone. I wrote a musical called Committed, which is about mental health, and it takes place in a psychiatric clinic in one day. It's got 8 characters, and they all struggle with a different mental health challenge. And I also made a short documentary called You're Gorgeous, I Love Your Shirt, an inside look at bullying and mental health. And what those two pieces have in common, Connie, is when we tell our story and we realize someone else has gone through the same thing, we know we're not alone. And that gives us hope, that gives us possibility, that gives us the drive to take one more breath, get up the next morning, get through the hard stuff, go see the doctor we need to, get the help we need to, the support we need to, be in the community we need to. And I think that is really why storytelling is so important, is because it reminds us we are not alone.
Yes. Yes. Well, and you know that that's what I'm all about. I absolutely agree with you full on. And I love that you've produced theater around this. I think that theater, storytelling on stage can share things in a way that gets that the audience to be right there with us. That me too. Oh my goodness, that's me. It's powerful.
When you see someone on stage who represents you or who is telling your story, when you're reading in a book someone who represents you and is telling your story, when you see a speaker on a stage and they are sharing from their vulnerable point of view, and you realize that's a human being just like me, anything becomes possible because you are able to be in the same place that someone else is by relating to them. And that is really the power of storytelling.
Mm, love that. Love that. Well, Tricia, my last question for you is for the business leaders who are listening, who may not understand the power of storytelling as of yet in their company culture. How can this help them engage their employees, bring people together, ignite their vision? How can storytelling play a role for them? And what would you say to that business owner regarding storytelling?
I would say give your company, give your consultants, give your employees, give your leaders an opportunity to share their struggles and their celebration as a community. When you come together and you are sharing these stories, I haven't worn pants for 2 years. I had dirty dishes in the sink for 14 months. I almost got rid of my entire family. All of the struggles that everyone was experiencing during quarantine and during lockdown, along with all of the celebrations. I got out of bed every day. I was able to homeschool my kid. My family got closer because we never spent any time together until COVID. Give your community, your leaders, your contractors and employees an opportunity to come together and experience their shared lives, because we have much more in common than we don't. And that's what storytelling is going to show us.
That's incredible. So business owners, that sounds doable, doesn't it? It sounds easy. We can all do that. And I think that that's incredible, Tricia. Well, this book of yours, Influential Voice, The Influential Voice, where can people find this? Because I think we all need this book.
Well, I would love to give your audience chapter 1 for free. And this is the chapter that I wrote and got a book deal the next day. And that is theinfluentialvoicebook.com/chapter. And you can find me at triciabrouk.com. And of course, the full book is on Amazon.
Amazing. Well, thank you. That is so generous. And I know that our audience will love this book, because I think that if there's ever a time people need a book like this, it's right now. So thanks for showing up to society in a way that offers your gift to humanity to make a difference. You are making such a difference, Tricia, and we appreciate you being on our podcast today.
Thank you, Connie.